Some of us don't appreciate our good health until it's gone.
You have to want to recover.
But a battle with chronic disease doesn't have to be a losing one.
I could not have imagined that I would ever feel the way I do now.
These Zoomers are putting up a fight.
But I've got to do something because I've got a lot of life to live.
On today's show, chronic conditions, thriving, not surviving. According to Statistics Canada, 73% of Canadians 65 plus have a chronic condition. From arthritis to Parkinson's, today we're going to meet Zoomers who are living their best lives in the face of disease. To help us navigate the landscape of long-term illness, we're going to speak with neurologist Dr. Preet Chahal. Dr. Preet is the head of neurology at Royal Columbian Hospital, and he runs a busy comprehensive practice that combines specialist care with guided rehabilitation.
We are really good as a system managing patients when they are really sick in the hospital. The minute they get stable enough to be discharged from the hospital, in community settings we sometimes fall apart. We run a busy, full-service adult neurology practice that literally covers anything from strokes, migraines, epilepsies, movement disorders like Parkinson's. We want our patients to live their best life forward, not to be defined as a disease or a condition or a symptom, but really as a person.
Among the most debilitating chronic conditions that Dr. Preet treats is Parkinson's. Over 100,000 Canadians live with this disease.
So tell me about Parkinson's. How does that work in our body?
Yeah. But largely speaking, think about Parkinson's disease as coming on because factories in the brain that make dopamine starts making less and less dopamine. When it relates to Parkinson's, dopamine helps us move. And when that less and less dopamine is being made, we need to supplement that dopamine with medications, with activities, with anything that we can to try to match up that sort of quality of life.
Every year, scientists are learning more about how people with Parkinson's can maintain their health and movement. Dr. Preet introduced me to Michelle, a Parkinson's patient who found results with a group that is fighting back against their disease.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Punch-Out Parkinson's would have started probably in 2018. And I remember the first 5 people that I sat and did the meet and greet with, they cried to me. They had cried to me about how Parkinson's had, how they were diagnosed and how it affected their lives, not just them, but their spouses. And so I ran a boxing class, and I remember a gentleman came to me right after class, shook my hand. He said, that class was nothing like therapy. I absolutely loved it.
It started back in 2020. I started to get a tremor in my left leg. And then the following year, I started, like almost every night, leg cramps. And I thought, this is strange. It's just out of the blue. Every day, I couldn't even move my feet, my toes an inch, and it would trigger a leg cramp all the way up my leg. And then early 2022, I couldn't straighten my left arm. And so then the doctor sent me for an MRI of my C-spine and my brain. Then I ended up seeing him in February again this year. You know, then he broke the news to me that day. Yeah, that he felt it was Parkinson's. I was quite shocked. I cried a lot, and I just thought, but I've got to do something because I'm too young for this. I've got a lot of life to live. I found out that exercise was the way to go. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to try boxing. I looked at the Parkinson's Association website, and they had this Punch-Out Parkinson's there.
2, 1, 2, 3, 2. You come in here, it's free for them, and it's family. You're building community, it's, you get to talk to one another. 2. Time. Awesome.
I like it because rather than stay home, you know, I find the community here, I have somebody to talk to, and it's just like a family here.
1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1.
So my My dad joined it, I guess almost a year ago. He just always looks forward to coming. He's always asking, do I boxing today? Can I go to boxing? We went away for a wedding last month and he had to miss like 2 classes and he was mad. So he definitely looks forward to coming the 3 days a week.
1, 1, 4. Good job, again. 1, 1, 4.
I started at 3 days a week and I saw some improvement, and then so I thought I went to 4 days, and now I'm doing 5 days, and my goal is to do 6 days. Like if you saw me earlier this year, I was dragging my left leg, I couldn't straighten my left arm, and things were getting worse. I was typing with one hand at work with my right hand, and I'm left-handed, and it was just awful. I can't believe how much it has helped me.
With Parkinson's, I say that people isolate themselves, they lose their own friends, they lose their own daily activities that they used to do. So now to come in and have a group that everybody can come in and work out together, have these friends that'll be friends for the rest of their lives, Community, that social aspect of it. So mental health, where people have something to look forward to every day now.
3, 4, 3, 4, again.
Throughout the years having Parkinson's, I've lost some friends along the way because they couldn't keep up with the activities that we used to do. And because of that, they just kind of stopped talking to me and moved on. And nobody really understood what I was going through. So this place is huge for emotional and mental support.
It's easy to focus on the negative, but when you come in here, we're going to help you focus on the positive, try and leave everything behind.
1, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3.
I love it, and I love the people that I'm with, and the coaches are great there because they push your limits.
Straight out, all the way out. Good. All the way out. There you go, buddy.
There's a lot of thinking going on in boxing. You got to learn those combinations. You got 2 fists, you got 6 punches. But at the end of the day, when we're calling different combinations and we're mixing it up, it's going to be challenging for you. So it's kind of like crossword puzzles. We're working the brain the whole time and left-right signals.
Being diagnosed with Parkinson's, it made me stronger. It empowered me, and it just made me realize I was tough as nails, and I can beat this. Like, I'll be fine.
We're meeting Zoomers who are thriving in the face of chronic conditions. Arthritis is a condition that afflicts 1 in 5 Canadians, and there's no cure. To find out more about this disease, I decided to meet with rheumatologist Angela Howe. How many different types of arthritis are there?
There's probably, at least 40 or 50 different types. And the most common is osteoarthritis, which is degenerative arthritis. Osteoarthritis is a condition of the joints only. Rheumatoid arthritis can affect other parts of your body. It can affect your heart, your lungs, your skin, your eyes, your kidneys. It is not just arthritis.
So arthritis is not just a standalone disease?
Correct.
Wow.
In fact, most types of arthritis are not standalone.
Some types of arthritis, such as rheumatoid, can live with us for our entire lives. Jeanette is a Zoomer who has lived with the disease for nearly 60 years.
When I was 18 and first diagnosed, I thought, oh, well, arthritis, right? And I can take a pill and it'll be fine, not realizing that it was a lifelong thing that I was having to learn to live with. So the reason I wear these is to prevent deformities like this one.
When you're 18, you're invincible.
And that's true.
Right? And then you get this diagnosis that we don't think of as a young person's disease. You're probably a walking history of the treatments of arthritis.
Yes, quite likely. I started on aspirin, high-dose aspirin, and gold injections. But basically, I was on my bed for months on end. Those were very, very difficult years. They wanted to put me on methotrexate. It is a chemotherapy drug. So I stayed on methotrexate for 16 years, and they were wonderful years. And then it stopped working. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't sit, I couldn't walk. My left hip was completely destroyed and my right knee was bowing outward, and so it was basically gone. One problem with being in pain 24/7 is that you become very self-focused. It is very hard to think about others when you're in constant pain. I did have friends who tried to encourage me, Jeanette, you're living in an age where there's a lot of arthritis research going on, and they're going to come up with something. On January 10, 2001, finally I was allowed to go on Remicade. It's made such a miraculous difference in my life that I had never expected to feel this well and this good. Yes.
You're mobile, you're enjoying life, you're engaged with your friends, your family.
Yes,
I have
a miracle. A life. It really is. I could not have imagined, you know, in the very difficult years that I would ever feel the way I do now.
Can we treat all types of arthritis?
No, we can't. Especially we don't have good medications for osteoarthritis. The cartilage in our joints has cells that will repair any damage to the cartilage, which happens every day. As we get older, those cells get older, and it's called senescence, and they just don't work very well. And that's the start of osteoarthritis, is in the cartilage. People like to say, oh, well, it's wear and tear. It's not wear and tear. A couple of the most important things are to try and attain a more ideal weight, to do regular exercise, to maintain your strength, because muscles protect joints. Mm-hmm. I think just having a well-rounded nutritional diet. And there is lots of help out there. The Arthritis Society is so good, is so helpful.
Right. Yeah. And the thing is to get educated.
Yep.
By the right people.
Yes. Yes.
If we know more, we can help you more.
Exactly.
How easy is that?
Yeah.
Up next, our regular segment with Chef Julian Bond. In every episode, he shares healthy, affordable, and Zoomer-friendly recipes.
Hi everybody, welcome to Granville Island here in the heart of Vancouver. One of the busiest food markets in North America, but it's also one of the best. Look at this table, it's full of natural medicine. Things like ginger. Well, this is no ordinary ginger. This is what we call young ginger or galangal. It's cold, as you can see the moisture, because it's kept in the fridge. And unlike regular ginger, which is really harsh on your throat, this is actually quite floral. Some would say even a little sweet. Normally, you would see this dried. It's this turmeric. And if you see inside, it's bright yellow. It's full of amazing medicinal properties. There are many things I love about British Columbia. Two of them come from the ocean. One is salmon, of course. The other is this, BC albacore tuna. This is from Organic Ocean. You can eat it raw, you can cook it all the way through. Today I'm going to sear it and serve it with a blueberry yuzu sauce. Ginger, microplane, don't peel it. It's gonna go right in there. This little thing, let me show you the inside. This is turmeric. Basically, its powers of what it does are tenfold when you can find it fresh. So turmeric and ginger are anti-inflammatory, so that's fantastic. This is soy sauce with some sesame oil, and we're gonna add citrus. Orange juice, lime juice, lemon juice. Blueberries, full of antioxidants. You could eat them by the pound. So this sauce is now ready and ready to serve. But if we leave it for one more day, then it just gets a whole new level of taste. So cilantro is one of those last minute ingredients. So when you are pan-searing tuna, there's many ways you can do it. And this is gonna take 30 seconds each side. It's that fast. So I'm going to season it, just a little salt. Take my olive oil, stainless steel pan. As you see the cooking line, it's about 3 millimeters. And again, it's about 30 seconds each side. And this is done. So my tuna is perfectly cooked. I love it. Just that ring around the edge. And how thick and thin is up to you. The trick is, saw. Let your knife do the cutting. So there we have BC albacore tuna from Organic Ocean with a blueberry yuzu sauce. It's just so tasty.
We're learning how Zoomers are thriving in spite of chronic conditions. Earlier, Dr. Preet Chahal told us about Parkinson's patients like Michelle who are battling their illness. Now I wanted to ask him about another source of chronic disease, our lungs.
Every part of our body, be it brain, be it kidney, heart, lungs, needs oxygenation. How do we get oxygen into our blood? These are our lungs. If our lungs are not working appropriately, whether it's from COPD, whether it's from asthma, whether it's from infections of the lung, they all at the end affect how blood gets oxygenated.
According to the Canadian Lung Association, nearly 6 million Canadians have a chronic lung condition. One of them is Chuck, a businessman and entrepreneur. Dean Atwell traveled to Grand Forks, BC to learn how an infection nearly changed his life forever.
It was really hard to see him suffer and couldn't breathe and struggle to walk.
After being diagnosed with a rare health condition, this gentleman went on to host numerous world-class festivals. The festival originally started in Vancouver in 2014 and within a year moved to Grand Forks, operating for 5 years with thousands attending the annual 3-day event. All the while, Chuck was doing his very best just to survive. I didn't know at the time that you were suffering.
Yeah, no, nobody did. I just, you know what, when I'm having issues, I don't like to broadcast it to people. I don't want people to feel sorry for me.
Thanks, and we're super happy to have you here.
What can you tell me about the medical condition?
Fungus is something everybody has. We're breathing it in every single day of the year. Every breath you take, you're breathing in fungus. Unfortunately, my body doesn't get rid of it. First, it started in my sinuses and I had to have surgery. After that, it spread into my lungs and I was told that I may have lung cancer. So I walked around for 2 months thinking I was had a big tumor in my lungs.
For when I start working. Is there anything that
There will be. He's working on it, connecting it right now.
Okay.
Like he been popping up his popper like 15, 20 times. That scared me.
How are you now compared to how you were back then?
I'm on an asthma medication, Dupixent, and a side effect of the Dupixent is that it controls fungus. So I not only get the asthma control, I do get the fungal control too. And so I am, like I said, I'm 90 to 100% better than I was a few years back.
That he can walk, starting walking and enjoying, even like every day with our dogs, walking with the 4 of us. It's just like a blessing.
Tika, come on. Diagnosing a problem is number one. Second thing, make sure you have good support. You have to want to recover. And I see so many people, they go in for medical procedures or mental health issues and they kind of lose their drive to live and get better and survive and thrive. And so that's super important is your mind. This one here, she spent every day with me in the hospital. She absolutely helped get me through a hard time, and you did too.
This is a very complicated machine that we inhabit. This is a miracle.
It is a miracle.
And the fact that it works at all is a miracle.
Yeah, yeah.
But how wonderful to know that we can participate in our healing, not just coming to you.
Us physicians are trained to identify diseases. We are not trained to promote wellness. Most patients are more than their diseases. And we cannot possibly see a disease when we see a patient. We see a patient that has a condition. If you define yourself as a disease, you're not going anywhere, right? Define yourself as a person that you are, the surroundings, the activities, the fun, the joy, right? Then everything else seems easier to deal with.
Well, that's just about it for the show, but before we leave, we have a few words from our CARP president, Rudy Boutignon.
Hi, I'm Rudy, president of the Canadian Association of Retired Persons. Chronic conditions. As we get older, it's difficult not to have one, two, or more. But the most important thing is not to give in to it. It's important to thrive and not survive. I have arthritis in my toes and I've got a couple of shaky knees, but I'm still going out and playing hockey because I just need to do that to keep going and not be written off for my age. If you want to learn more about how to deal with chronic conditions, go to our website, carp.ca, and join our movement.
I feel very lucky to have never experienced what chronic pain feels like. But talking with Michelle and Jeanette has really inspired me. In the face of adversity, there's always hope. And that's the show. Remember, as our CARP chairman Moses Neimer always says, the best way to keep going is to keep going. So carpe diem and seize your day.